still alive.
Well, that was a day that could hardly have gone better for the South Africans. I mean, to go on and make 488 from their overnight position and then knock 6 Australians over, as they've done by the close, and be utterly dominant in the game. It's a remarkable performance. Alan Border and Sean Pollock are with me. I'll come to Alan first on the basis that maybe the cricketing gods are making some choices.
That's right. They've spoken loud and clear, haven't they? The Australians have been struggling all week. And I think the cricketing gods have spoken loud and clear about they're going to have to do a lot of hard work to get back in the good books. Yeah, and South Africa played darn good cricket. We have to say that.
They did. I mean, coming here this morning, it was the second new ball. You did have Temba and de Kock at the crease, so you thought maybe they'd be able to put a partnership on. But they rode their luck. There was a lot of playing missing initially. But I thought they played some good cricket as well. But Temba got going later on. Quinton de Kock set the tone in the morning. But to get that massive score after there was a possibility of maybe being bowled out for under 350 was a fine effort on their behalf. And then to come out and bowl the way they did, to keep the pressure on Australia, not allow them off the hook, has just gone with the way they've dominated so far in the series.
I thought Bavuma played very well. It was sort of an innings today that was a very different innings from the one yesterday too, wasn't it?
Well, that's right. He started off yesterday full of flourish, wasn't he? He was hitting his shots and playing very, very well. Then the first hour this morning, I think he made one single run, but was still there. I mean, he struggled, he played and missed a bit and had a bit of luck along the way. But then once he got through that first hour, he started to blossom from there, and away he went, and very well played.
He's got a lot of character.
He has, and he's been at the latter part now. He's been in and out. It was JP Duminy who now announced that he wanted to retire, so that opened up the opportunity for him to solidify his spot. Then he got injured, and they went to De Bruyne, and then he didn't really go well. Temba recovered, came back, looked out of sorts in Cape Town. So this was an important knock for him in his Test career, to get stuck in, show what he's capable of. I suppose you say so. It went perfectly for South Africa. The only downside was 5 more runs from Temba would have been ideal.
Yes, fair call. We're hoping to chat with him in a minute. Meantime, we've got the Australian bowling coach, David Saker. Mike Hazeman's just along the way there.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, OK, David, let's just talk about Pat Cadman for starters. I mean, you guys must be so proud with the work that he's doing.
Yeah, he's had a great 12 months, and it was pleasing today so he could get his 5 wickets. I think he's been very good this series. He's bowled some really great spells, and today again he came out and gave his all and bowled terrifically well.
I heard a quote from him the last Test match, I think it was, where he said that it was actually after the first day of the last Test match, where he said he's at a stage now, an important stage of his career, where he wakes up in the morning and he doesn't feel sore anymore. That's a huge step for him.
Yeah, it's great that he's trusting his body again. So obviously a long time out of cricket. It's really hard mentally for those guys to keep coming back. So over the last 12 months, I think a tour of India, and he bowled quite a lot of overs there, through an Australian summer, and then coming through here. I think he's really trusting his body now. I'm pretty sure he's sore, but he's trusting his body, which is great.
And what do you see from him, which is different from most other guys?
As far as his endurance, I just think he's just been one of those guys that's just really wanted to keep playing a Test match cricket. He's obviously been off the ground a long time. He put some really heavy work into the gym and making sure he was ready to come back, and he changed his action just a little bit, but obviously that's had some good things for his body, and just some of his cricket's been fantastic.
And also Chad Sayers, I mean, he got the nod and put in the hard yards. Not easy at Johannesburg at 6,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah, and he was good. I thought he did exactly what we thought he would do. He's done that for his state team back home. He comes in, he bowls very accurately and puts pressure on the batsman. He could have easily got more wickets. He beat the bat quite often, and he did what we thought he was going to do. And we were pretty happy with the way he bowled.
I can't let you go without a comment about Rabada from your point of view. He's someone that certainly has excited a lot of people in South Africa. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I commented on, I think after the second Test, he's one of the special bowlers in the world. He's, you would love him in your team. His strike rate is amazing. The way he bowls, his energy in the field, his competitiveness. He's one player that you really want in your bowling attack. I think we've got those sort of bowlers in our attack, but you would love got bowlers like that in your attack anyway. And he really complements the rest of the team. Like Philander complements him very well. So they've got a really good balanced attack. The spinners bowling very well. They're a really good team, and with him striking the way he does, he's always challenging because of his pace and his athleticism.
And you guys have got some hard work to do tomorrow.
Yeah, it hasn't been a great week for us, and obviously today was quite devastating. But we'll come back and fight as hard as we can and try to get back in the game somehow.
David, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Hazy. Cheers.
Thoughts there from David Saker. I was just looking over to see if Temba Bavuma was on his way to us, and I think he is. Before he gets to us, we'll just quickly do Keshav Maharaj, because I think he'll want to talk about his role. A lot of fascinating strokes. The guy can bat, huh?
He can. He's grown up in Durban on a bouncy surface, so he's got a bit of a technique and knows how to deal with the different kind of deliveries, and he likes to go on the attack. He always tries to be positive at every moment, particularly likes going hard at the spinners. As we saw an example of that today. He'd be a little bit disappointed he got out just before Temba got to his 100, but his innings was crucial, his highest score in Test cricket, and we saw some wonderful shots from him through that. His competitive nature, trying to be as aggressive as he possibly can, and I think we really enjoyed sitting there and watching us as Temba comes to join us.
He's here.
Well played, man. Temba, well played. You got yourself a mark there, you have, okay.
Yeah. Well, you're 5 runs short. We're also disappointed for you. Did you feel at any stage like you should have stolen the strike a bit more?
I thought about it at the end, but I had a lot of confidence in Keshav. He's more than just a tail ender. He's quite accomplished with the bat. But yeah, I guess today wasn't my day. Yeah, things happened the way they happened.
But it was your day. I mean, I suppose the answer is Keshav was playing so well. We just showed some of his highlights as we did your highlights, that you didn't really want to steal the strike from him because he was busy helping take the game away from Australia.
Yeah, I think at that point what was more important for the team was just to get as much runs as we could. We were thinking 450 plus. And Keshav that time, he was the one who was able to hit the boundaries, and I was kind of just feeding off him. But yeah, that's what was more important at that time in terms of the situation of the game.
Oh, Temba, I just wanted to ask you, your innings sort of had a couple of different flows to it. The way you started yesterday, you were playing your shots, and then this morning, 1 run in the first hour, and then they got the flow going in the second hour. So I just wondered what your thought process was during that period of play.
Yeah, if I look at last night when I came in with AB was batting, and our KPI, our target was just to take it 5 overs at a time. And just take it from there. I found myself, as I got in, there were opportunities to score, and I took that. This morning was quite difficult, but enjoyable as well. But again, my thinking was just to take it deep, take it ball by ball, and I had the belief that runs would flow at some point in time.
Well, Temba, how difficult for you was it with that injury? You obviously sit around waiting for the opportunity to play. No cricket coming into the game in Cape Town. And you maybe looked a little bit out of sorts there because time in the middle is so valuable. What did you work on during the week to come out and play the way you did today?
Yeah, I think I spent a lot of time more mentally. Actually didn't even have much practice. I think I only had 1 practice leading up to this game. But it was more the mental side, just clearing up what I wanted to achieve in this game, getting over the anxiety and doubts that I have with my injury. I had to accept the fact that, I haven't had enough game time leading up to this game. But yeah, everything that I worked on was more from a mental point of view.
Temba, we're standing on about the spot your little pump over extra cover off Pat Cummins pitch. Now, not many people have done that in Pat Cummins' career. That was a terrific shot. Was it pre-planned or did it just click in?
The thought was there. I tried it a couple of balls earlier. Ball hit the crack and nipped away. But my thinking at that time is that, I'm going to struggle to hit the ball on the ground through the covers. I'm going to take my chances and try to go over the top. Unfortunately, came off with that.
It did come off. Terrific shot. Does that tell us then that you found it quite a tricky pitch to bat on?
I found it very tricky. I found it very tricky in the sense that hitting through the line, I never felt comfortable at any time. And you almost had to be comfortable with the fact that you're going to play and miss. You're going to look dodgy out there, but just try to take it ball by ball.
I felt that your forward move was as good as I've ever seen it. Your weight, your balance, the transfer, and then the way the bat came through the line of the ball you're very good at that on the back foot always, but I thought in this innings you really had that working.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at my dismissals in Newlands, everything was generally outside that off stump, that 4th, 5th stump. So you know, I worked quite hard mentally, you know, in terms of, you know, how I was going to try to counter that. Obviously, trying to transfer my weight into the ball a lot more was something that I tried to do. I'm never going to have big strides, but that's what I tried to do, yeah.
You can't have big strides, can you?
No.
You just haven't got Sean Pollock's legs, have you? It's as simple as that.
Don't worry about these tall blokes, mate. Look, one for the little fellas. Good stuff.
Temba, you've played a lot of provincial cricket here. Quite a lot of turn in the surface. We don't normally see that in test match cricket here, but there's a bit of turn and bounce for the spinners.
Yeah, I was quite surprised, to be honest, Sean. Generally at the Wanderers, you don't see a lot of turn like that, especially on day one. Generally, when the wicket is a bit soft, it does grip a bit. But then as the days go by, the turn kind of subsides. But we've seen at the moment that there's been turn on day one and day two. But yeah, I was quite surprised.
The question I asked AB, and he wasn't sure how to answer it, but while you're out there performing, do you enjoy batting? Or is it when you get back in the dressing room and think about it, you enjoy what you've achieved?
I think when you play on a wicket like this, which is quite tricky for a batter, I mean, you got to enjoy the challenge. That's what I tried to do. It wasn't an easy wicket, and you just had to enjoy the challenges that came about from the bowlers.
Yeah, now of course a fantastic position. I mean, your bowlers have done such a good job this afternoon.
Yeah, look, we couldn't have asked for any better from the bowlers. They hit their areas from ball one, and that's why we find ourselves in the position where we are. In saying that, they do have 4 wickets left, so we needed to try and clean that up quickly.
Temba, I think we'll have a look at the wickets that fell with you here. It's the last thing we'll ask you to do, but it's one of those pitches that you play and miss, and then you're drawn to a wide ball, aren't you? And some of the dismissals look as if they're unnecessary. Is that because they are unnecessary, or because the pitch sucks you in a bit?
Yeah, I think it's largely due to the pitch. I think, you know, in and around that 4th, 5th stump, you know, there's a lot of action there that happens for the bowlers. So you really got to be clued up as to what you want to do. If you're going to play there, you got to go hard at the ball. If not, you got to be very tight with your leaving. But I found it very tricky.
Now that's interesting. So in other words, it's one thing or the other. This is not a pitch for little pushes and using the pace of the ball and using your hands. It's for a very committed technique, one thing or the other.
Yeah, exactly. You got to commit 100% either way. If you're going to leave the ball, you got to leave the ball with intent. If you're going to throw your hands, you got to throw your hands with intent. There's no if about it.
Do you know the reason that Quentin came to stand up to the stumps for Vernon? Was it specifically for LBW? We had a long discussion in the commentary box about it. You might not be privy to it, you might not know the answer, but equally you might.
Yeah, Quinny came up to the stumps when Sean Marsh was batting, and Sean Marsh at that time was standing out of his crease, and that's something that, you know, us South Africans, we try and employ when you're facing a slower bowler who's nipping the ball about, is to try come out of your crease, just to negate whatever swing or nip there is. And that was the thinking, to push Marsh back into the crease. And we ended up getting Khawaja, actually.
Actually, it was a heck of a catch, wasn't it? Jeez,
yeah,
a good athlete, that boy, isn't he?
It's splendid.
And what happened with his bee sting? Quinny got stung by the bee.
I didn't see anything.
No sympathy from you. Okay, just checking. Just checking.
Something. The ball that went low along the ground when Marsh came out of his ground, and then he got this. I'm not kidding. I mean, you're looking at me like.
Go and ask him. Go and ask him.
It did look as if there was a bee.
Okay, I'll go ask him, but I didn't see it.
Go, look, actually, we can show you it. I think here we go. So the ball scuttles through low. Quinny misses it, and is immediately look here. Look.
Is he going to blame the bee for the missed chance?
That's right. Well, we weren't going to say it, but now that you've said it,
I'm joking.
You've heard it first, right, on SuperSport. Bavuma blames the bee. Listen, great. Thank you very much for your time. We appreciate you coming over. Well played. We're sorry you didn't make it there, but congratulations. Terrific day for South Africa in general.
Thank you. Good day for us, yeah.
My pleasure.
Well done, Temba.
You can sneak away if you like. You don't have to stand and talk to us anymore. Great to see you, Temba. Thank you very much. Bavuma blames the bee. There you go. It's
obviously,
all sorted.
yeah.
Not often that Alan Border gets to feel a bit tall. When doing interviews.
I'm a giant.
He has been non-stop all day.
Yeah, he's been giving me heaps. So I'm not getting back the next
It's
couple of
because
days.
Brendan Julian's not here. His protector is not here.
Got the cheekiest sense of humour going around. Okay, it's time, I think, for our round delivery of the day.
Outstanding stuff.
long for South Africa to break through and get their first wicket. Another good delivery from Rabada, full shaping away, and a good catch by Faf du Plessis.
Just a nice little bit of shape away from Joe Burns, just a little bit of movement off the seam. And Faf du Plessis takes a good catch at second slip.
Yeah, the length really good from Cage. A little bit of movement ended up making Joe Burns play away from his front pad, finds the edge. And at second slip, if you see it and you decide to go, you've got to keep going. And that's a good take by Faf du Plessis. It would have gone straight to Hashimamla, but Faf saw it early.
Outstanding stuff. Beauty. What a delivery that is.
All right, well, sport is full of cliches, and at this moment, that Australian dressing room will be full of them. It'll all be about pride, won't it? We have to fight for our pride here, show we have some character, but it's a very difficult, sort of almost helpless situation in which they find themselves.
It is. I mean, it's easy to say that, you know, we want to sort of show some fight, but it's easier said than done, given the week they've had. So, you know, they'll be down the dumps with their performance today. The bowlers were a little bit off their best, apart from Pat Cummins. The rest of the boys really struggled, and then the batting, I mean, leaves a lot to be decided. There's a lot of you know, what I'd call soft dismissals. Yes, if you know, you get bowled out on a good ball that nips around, but they'll drag wide of their stumps on the two openers, and then a couple of drag-ons, and then a caught down the leg side. We can't help that, but yeah, some soft dismissals they'll talk about.
So how would you sum up, if you were talking to the guys in the morning or this evening, what would you want from them if you're captain of Australia?
Yeah, well, look, you know, you do have to show that fight, and you've got to just be, you know, maybe just play with your own personal pride at stake. You know, this is your own personal pride at stake here, so you've got to go out there and don't worry about the match situation and playing for Australia and all the rest of it. Just your own personal pride takes over.
Okay, Sean, big day really for South Africa. I mean, they could do something special and win in 3 days. If not, they're strong favourites to win in less than 4.
Yeah, it's a massive performance from them. They'll be thinking one more wicket and they're into the 3 bowlers. I don't know how Sayers goes, whether he's any good with the bat, but we've seen what the other 2 at the bottom order will bring. So there's not much batting to come. And then the challenges to work out once you got Australia out, is there going to be rain? We don't often see teams follow on anymore because guys like to have rest, particularly when you've got a 4-pronged attack. But South Africa haven't been out there for very long. So I think if they wrapped it up quickly tomorrow morning, they might just consider having another crack at Australia, particularly if there's rain and thunderstorms around, which mean they won't have to bowl for a long period of time. But they're in such a strong position. They're 2-1 up in the series. How Australia fight back from here, I'm not sure they can. So South Africa will be very happy in that dressing room.
Well, if they did, it would be a remarkable thing. We're all too long in the tooth to think that it couldn't happen. What we do reckon is it's not likely to be the case. And the main reason for that is that South Africa have played very good cricket yesterday and today. They look an organised team and a threatening team, and that's why they're dominant here at the Wanderers. We hope you've enjoyed it. We sure have. We'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:30 on air, 10 o'clock for the live play. Until then, from Alan, from Sean and from me, in fact from all of our team, bye-bye. Hello everybody and welcome to the second day's play. The biggest bull at the bull ring yesterday was Aidan Markram.
You'll hear some people are saying that they took their foot off the gas. Again, I'll say, when 2 good teams are playing, you will find fluctuations like that.
That's beautifully caressed, slightly over pitch, but beautifully played by Bavuma. His first boundary of the morning.
The uppercut. No problem for the little guys to cut and pull when the chance comes.
I would have to say South Africa should consider themselves to be in a very, very strong position at the moment.
As you said, Mark, no boring innings from Maharaj. It's like a highlights package.
It's got that away, and it's going to go for 4. That's good use of the feet from Maharaj.
Oh, yes, no. Yes, no, maybe, no. Bavuma should know. Make sure he rides his bit of luck. He needs to get centuries.
Oh, that's a good stroke. Oh, but Bavuma took the length so quickly. Got him into the 80s.
Temba Bavuma's got the reverse lap out. He's got himself 4. That's a good shot in the 90s. Goodness me. What a beauty that is. Takes him to 94. Oh, there's a nick. That's a very good knock. Entertaining knock.
Temba Bavuma will be walking towards Morning Walker very shortly to have a word with him, say, stay with me.
Yeah, dreaded moment for Temba Bavuma.
Oh, there's an edge, and the catch has been taken. First ball, there's an edge, and Temba Bavuma is going to finish on 95 not out. His dad rising in his seat. Brilliant stuff, Temba Bavuma.